O God, thy sea is so great, and my boat is so small. Of all the tragedies that have befallen the United States Navy, none so suddenly and profoundly altered the future of the submarine program more than the loss of the USS Thresher on April 10, 1963. The USS Thresher, SSN 593, was the first of her class, the future of nuclear submarines. She was equipped with state-of-the-art anti-submarine missile SubRock, advanced BQQ-2 sonar, and significantly improved quieting compared to her predecessor class, Skipjack. Her hull, made of HY-80 steel, was designed for a test depth of 1,300 feet. By all accounts, Thresher was a marvel, the culmination of many years of research and development. Her keel was laid by Portsmouth Naval Shipyard on the 28th of May, 1958, and she was commissioned 3 years later on 3 August 1961, with Commander Dean L. Axine at the helm. She was named for the Thresher shark. In 1961, she conducted sea trials in the Western Atlantic and Caribbean. She fired torpedoes and evaluated her anti-submarine system before returning to Portsmouth on the 29th of November. After more tests and trials off Key West, Florida, she returned to Portsmouth on the 16th of July, 1962, to begin a 6-month availability to examine the new systems and make repairs as necessary. 9 months later, she was finally recertified and undocked on April 8, 1963. On the 9th of April, Thresher, commanded at this time by Lieutenant Commander John Wesley Harvey, left from the yard and met with the submarine rescue ship Skylark at 11 a.m. to begin post-overhaul sea trials. Throughout the day, she conducted a series of dives and tests, then remained submerged overnight and re-established communication with Skylark around 6:30 a.m. on the 10th to commence the deep dive. As Thresher neared test depth, a garbled communication reached the Skylark at 9:13. Minor difficulties, half positive up angle, attempting to blow. At this point, officers on board Skylark heard compressed air over the loudspeakers. At 9:15, Skylark hailed the sub. Hearing no response, Skylark's captain, Lieutenant Commander Hecker, asked, "Are you in control?" At 9:16, Skylark received a transmission where only the phrase 900N could be heard. The meaning of this statement is unclear. At 9:17, another transmission, exceeding test depth. And then, finally, at 9:18, Skylark detected a high-energy, low-frequency noise, which Commander Hecker said sounded like a ship breaking up, like a compartment collapsing. This was the last anyone would hear from the USS Thresher. Navy ships hurried to the spot of the deep dive, about 200 nautical miles off the coast of Cape Cod, to search for any signs of the lost submarine. At around 5 p.m., the USS Recovery arrived on scene and discovered an oil slick on the water. By 6:30 p.m., though there was no definitive sign, the commander of the Atlantic Submarine Force sent word to Portsmouth Naval Shipyard to notify the crew's families. Commander Harvey's wife, Irene, was the first to be informed of Thresher's disappearance. Though their search was extensive, they did not succeed at locating the ship. Floating debris and the oil slick were their only clues to the fate of the submarine, but it was clear from this evidence that there was no hope for survival. The Thresher was declared lost with all hands. President Kennedy ordered all flags to be flown at half-mast from April 12th to 15th, marking this tragedy. The bathyscaphe Trieste II was brought to the area to continue the search. On the 27th of June, Trieste II located a twisted pipe with 593 boat etched into its surface. The shattered remnants of Thresher's hull were discovered on the seafloor about 8,400 feet below, far beyond its projected crush depth. A court of inquiry was established immediately after the sinking to determine the potential cause of this loss. It was determined that the likely cause of the sinking was the failure of one or more of many silver brace pipe joints in the engine room, which flooded the compartment. The crew was unable to reach vital equipment and stop the flooding. Water sprayed on electrical panels and scrammed a reactor, leading to a loss of propulsion. Ice formed on the strainers in the ballast tanks, and without ballast blow, they could not rise. Whatever the cause, we will never truly know. Those secrets lie buried on the seafloor. The human cost of the Thresher's loss was 129 men, some of them workers from the Portsmouth yard. These were sons, husbands, fathers, co-workers, and shipmates. Their loss will forever darken the hearts of those who loved them. I could talk about every discovery, about everything retrieved from the site of the sinking. There's thousands of pages of documents from every smoke-filled room in that court of inquiry. From this great tragedy, the SubSafe program was born, a program designed to provide maximum reasonable assurance that submarines will stay watertight and can recover from flooding if it ever occurs. These rigorous rules of design, material, fabrication, and testing, backed by vigorous audits, help keep those at sea safe from the ocean that can crush them at a moment's notice. Think always of safety. Its rules are written in blood. No matter what your job, no matter what it pays, no matter its impact on the general public, do it always with safety in mind. Protect yourselves, protect each other. Do what you can, today and always. Thank you for listening.